All right, everybody. I have got a surprise for y'all today. Guess where I am at? You can look at the background here and you can see that I'm not in my house. So, I will tell you where I'm at. Carla and I, we hooked the RV up to my truck and I pulled the RV, yes me, I done it. I pulled the RV over to Dolphin Island, and we're at Dolphin Island. And I even backed it up in the space where it was supposed to go. And if you know anything about backing a trailer, it can be difficult. But I backed her right on in there, and I was so proud of myself. Okay, but when you're at the beach, what should you eat when you're at the beach? Can anybody give me an answer what you should eat at the beach? Oh, hey, Johnny. Okay, what should you eat at the beach? We should eat turkey. Oh, Johnny, that was a good try, but that's not the right answer. Oh, Susie, I see your hand. What should we eat at the beach? I think we should eat fried chicken. Oh, that was a good try, but that's not the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all what you should eat at the beach. You should eat seafood. And I know probably a lot of y'all were already thinking, oh yeah, seafood, shrimp, flounder, crab, whatever. So, but specifically, what am I going to cook today? I'm going to cook gumbo. Now, gumbo is it is a traditional southern dish, and so I'm going to cook it today. I'm going to cook it like my Granny Cochran cooked it, and I'm going to walk y'all through it, show you how to do it. Now, gumbo is not something that you can rush. It takes time, and so you just have to know that. When you get ready to cook it, it will take some time to get it done. It will take several hours to get gumbo done. I already have a little bit of my stuff prepped ahead of time, so that'll cut down on the time that it takes today. Okay, so let me turn this camera around where you can see the stove. And I have here, we're going to have to start out with our vegetables that we need to saute. So I have some vegetables left over from the last time I made gumbo, and I got that out of my freezer, but I needed just a little bit more to go with it. So I've got some in this pot right here. Show that to you. That is okra, and that is seasoning blend. And the seasoning blend, you can buy that a frozen package, in the grocery store, Walmart or whatever. Go to the frozen section, look for seasoning blend. And seasoning blend is onion, bell pepper, celery, and parsley. That's what seasoning blend is. So that's what I've got in this pot. I've got the seasoning blend, and I've got the okra. And I need to add a little bit more water to it because I've had it cooking. I need to cook it, until it's tender. And I've had it cooking here a little bit, so I'm adding a little bit of water. I'm going to put it back on the fire over there. We actually got real fire here. I'm cooking with propane. Okay, so there we go. Got some water in it. I'll put it back here on the burner. Turn this around a little bit for you to see what's going on over here. And I need to add some other ingredients to this seasoning blend in okra. So I forgot to bring measuring cups or measuring spoons. So I'm just going to use what I have here. This is a little styrofoam cup, and it's approximately 8 ounces. So this is a cup. And then I've got just a little bitty spoon here that I'm going to use to measure out some of my ingredients as well. Okay, so, and this recipe, the ingredients for this recipe will be in the description box under this video. So you'll be able to look in the description box get all of the measurements and all of the ingredients for this gumbo. So I want to add to this little pot here. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. I want to add to this little pot. Let me get over here, get some of my ingredients. I need to add a bay leaf. Get me out a nice bay leaf here. Okay, here's two just pieces of bay leaves. I'm gonna throw that in there. Then I need to add my filet. You ever heard of, let me see if I can think of that song. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. This is going to be filet gumbo. Filet, let me tell you about filet. Now, filet is made from sassafras leaves. I have a video that I've made about the sassafras tree. I haven't actually uploaded it yet on YouTube, but I will eventually upload it on YouTube. But filet is ground sassafras leaves. That's all it is, totally. And on the other video where I was talking about the sassafras tree, they grow wild out there where I live. Of course, I guess sassafras does grow wild anywhere that you find it. And I was just talking about the different things about the sassafras tree and what you can do with it. Specifically that you can take the roots and make sassafras tea. You can drink it hot or cold. And, oh, it is wonderfully delicious. So I'll get that uploaded here, I don't know, shortly sometime. But okay, so let's put a little filet in here. And I'm going to need about a teaspoon of filet. So I'm just going to have to eyeball this, kind of measure it out. Put me a little filet in there. Okay, got that. Now, so I've got bay leaves, I've got filet. I need just a little touch of salt, not a whole lot. Let's see if I can pry this thing open. I'm here in, oh, that's the pepper. I'm here in the RV, and I don't have, you know, all of my utensils and, like I said, measuring spoons, measuring cups, and everything like I have at the house. So I'm just having to improvise. Okay, so we need about a half a teaspoon. No, how did I get 2 peppers out here? Okay, I have got 2 peppers. I'm going to have to go over to my cabinet. And where's my salt? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, let me go find my salt. Aha! Finally! Okay, I found it. Seems to be, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Nope, this ain't going to work. This salt is, oh, hang on, I've got some more salt. Let me go find it. Okay, I found my salt. Get this opened up. We're going to want to put, I think, about 1/4 of a teaspoon, but now this, my measurements today are going to be different from the measurements in the description box because this, I already had part of this cooked and frozen, and I just pulled it out. So the measurements will be a little different in the description box. Okay, so we need a little bit of salt, not a whole lot. We got that. Let's see if I got anything else that needs to go in. Oh, yes. Okay, I need to put some garlic powder. Let me get a little garlic powder. Put in it. Okay. I think that's all that I need to go there. All right, now, in this big pot, let's stir this little pot up a little bit. You ever heard the saying, put on the big pot in the little pot? That's what we're doing. We're putting on the big pot in the little pot. Okay, let me turn this fire down a little bit. Little pot here. All right, got that turned down. Now, in my big pot here, let me pull it over here. I'm going to start my roux right here. Now, I'm not going to make a roux from flour and oil. I can do that and know how to do that, but I have found this instant roux mix right here, Zatarain's Instant Creole Roux Mix. And so I just usually use this. It's a whole lot quicker and it's very good. You cannot even tell the difference between this and just the roux made from scratch. So this is what I'm going to go with right here. So I need to put a little water in here. Pour a little bit of water in my big pot. Okay. Now I want to add I'm going to start out with about a half a cup of this roux mix. Get this opened up. Okay. So we'll put this roux mix in the water and we'll turn the fire on and we will begin heating this water up, and as the water heats up, the roux mix will start thickening up the water. So let's see, let me get my fire on here. We've all put it back here on this back burner. Okay, we got that on, that's good. Let me check this other stuff here. See how it's looking and doing. Oh yeah, that's looking great. Looks good. Okay, so we got this water on, we're heating it up. Let's see, let me turn this around where you can see it. There's the pot. There's both of my pots right there. Now, we'll take this roux mix. That's what it looks like, just a powder. I'm going to pour it in this water and start stirring it up. See if I can do this where you can see it. And it dissolves pretty easily. It doesn't really lock badly. And so that's really good. Makes it easy to work with. Okay. Scooter back on the fire. We'll start stirring this. Let it start thickening up. Okay, while that's heating up, I'll just turn this around and talk to y'all a little bit. Now, my Granny Cochran, she was a big cook, a really good cook. She was a really good gumbo cook. And when Granny would be going to make gumbo, she would send out word, to the whole family, hey, I'm making gumbo today. And that was our invitation to come eat gumbo. And I promise you that when she let the family know that she was making gumbo, everybody showed up. It was so good. It's a wonderful memory that I have, just from my teenage years and young adult years. And my Granny and Papa, I had them a long time. Granny lived to be 89. Papa lived to be, he was about 96. He was almost 100. So I got to enjoy my grandparents for a long time. And this is a really good memory that I have of Granny. And I, took it upon myself to learn how to make gumbo like Granny makes it. Okay, this is starting to heat up a little bit. Still going to need to thicken up though. Let's see. My fire's on okay. I got my fire up pretty high there. That's good. Like I said, you can't rush gumbo. Gumbo just takes time. And I just thought of something I need to add over here to my other little pot. I need to add about a half a stick of butter. And see this instant roux mix, it's just the dry mix and it's water. Now when you make your own roux from scratch, it's plain flour and oil, and it's in equal amounts. If you use a half a cup of flour, you use a half a cup of oil. Or if you use a whole cup of flour, you use a whole cup of oil. But this instant roux mix does not have any kind of oil or anything in it. So I'm going to add some butter to the little pot so that we've actually got some kind of oil in there or something to help with the flavor of the gumbo. Okay, so that's about a half a stick. All right, okay, this stuff is starting to thicken up. Let me show it to you. Look, it looks just like a gravy. And, oh, I'm going to have to turn this around. Okay, roux looks like a gravy. In fact, roux is a gravy. That's what you're doing. When you make roux, you're making a gravy. You brown your flour in the oil, and then you begin to slowly add in some water or chicken stock or ham stock, something like that, and you make a gravy. That's what roux is. So this is the gravy. This is the roux right here. It is thickened up. You see that it's thick there? Okay, so I have a thick gravy here. Now, I want to add some water to this. No, I don't. I don't want to add water. I want to add chicken broth. That's what I want to add to this. Okay. Because I want some flavor added to it. Now, if you have cooked a chicken or a turkey or even a ham, and you have some of the stock left from it, you can use that also in the gumbo. And so what I will do, if I boil a whole chicken or something, I will take the leftover chicken broth, the leftover stock that I'm not going to use, and I'll put it in a bowl, and I'll freeze it in the freezer. And then when I have another recipe that I'm wanting chicken broth for, then I can pull that out. And but I didn't have any in the freezer, so I'm having to use canned chicken broth today. And that is another reason that I need to add some butter to this recipe today, not only for the roux, but also this chicken broth that I'm using, the Swanson's chicken broth. It is like 99% fat-free, I believe is what it says. So there's no fat in here basically. So you need to add some fat to it. So that's the reason I'm adding some butter as well. Okay, so I've got an old-fashioned can opener. Us people that are a little older will know what this is. My daughter didn't know what it was. I had to show her how to use it. I had to tell her what it was and show her how to use it. So I don't have, like my electric can opener or anything over here. So we'll open this up. Let's see if you set it over here. Okay, we'll open this up. We'll take the pointy end right there. I think I'm going to open it up. Oh, that is not gripping the side. Okay, so this ain't going to work today. Let me see what else I've got that I can open this up with. Oh, I've got some other stuff in there. Let me see. Okay, here we go. All right, this is a can opener as well. Now, let's see if I can remember how to open this. How to use this. Now I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Let's see. I know it works some way. How does it work? Oh, I think, is this the way it goes? See, I'm left-handed, so I'm trying to do this left-handed. And it may be that this is a right-handed gadget. I'm not sure. But we're going to try it. Let's see, that's the cutting part. That's the cutting part there. Okay, I think this is the way it goes. Okay, so let me see if I can get it to go down in there. Let me get this on my counter. There we go. All right. All right, I'm trying to set this where y'all can see what I'm doing. Here, right here, okay. And yeah, I don't know how to do this. I've done it before, but I cannot remember how to do it now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I've just got me a little hole there. Let me get me a little hole on this other side. I'm not going to try to open the whole thing up. Okay, here we go. Finally. Got it. All right. So we're going to add chicken broth to this. Let me see if I can hold this where you can see what I'm doing. Just adding this can of chicken broth to it. It's going to take several cans of chicken broth. Okay. I'll put that back on the fire and let that be warming. Let me check this again. See what we got going on here. Okay, yeah, see, this is looking good. Now, once this goulash gets cooked and is soft and tender and cooked down, it looks like junk. I mean, it don't look fitting to eat. But it is part of the base for gumbo. Okay, so let's let it cook down a little more. It's looking good. Got to get some more chicken broth. Put it in my big pot. Got to do the same thing. Just got to put a few holes, a couple of holes in here, so that I can get the chicken broth out. Okay. We'll do this side. I may have to get me one of those under-the-counter can openers where I can just put it up under the counter here. I just don't have a lot of counter space here in the RV, so I don't want a can opener that's just sitting on the counter, you know. That's the reason I don't have a can opener in my RV yet, but I guess I better get me one that goes under the counter, mounts under the counter. Okay, we've got the second can in. I'll open up one more can and put it in. Now, when I was a teenager, my Granny and Papa Cochran bought a lot over at the Gulf, over at Gulf Shores, and they built a beach house on that lot. And the Gulf lot ran all the way out to the water, all the way out to the beach. That was their property. And Granny scrimped and saved money to buy that beach lot. And this was probably maybe back in the 1960s. And she bought that beach lot. I'm trying to think how much she paid for that beach lot. I mean, it was just a little bit. I think she paid like $10,000 for the beach lot. And today, a beach lot like that would sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So she bought the beach lot. Granny took the initiative to save the money for that, and Papa was fine with that. He was okay with that. And so Granny was over that, saving the money for the beach lot, and then they bought that and built the beach house. And so we would all go over every summer and stay at the beach house. And this was in the area that the beach house was. It was private property all around, and so it was not a public beach. It was just private property, and the people who lived in those beach houses, that was our beach. Now, we did have people who could walk through, but people couldn't come out there and just set up for the day or even stay. If they were passing through, that was okay, but this was a private beach. It wasn't the public beach, so that made it so much nicer, because you didn't walk out there and the beach just be covered with people. And so anyway, we had a lot of fun out there, a lot of good times. Back then, the dune buggies were allowed to run on the beach back then. And so we would be out there on the beach, and the dune buggies in the evening time would be running up and down the beach. We'd build us a campfire, roast wingies, sit around the campfire, roast marshmallows. And so those were just really good times to look back on. Those are good memories. Okay, let me check my stuff again. My papa, he had a gill net. I think it was about 100 feet long, the gill net. Now, gill nets are outlawed now. You can't use a gill net yet, now. But back then, you could use a gill net. And so, Papa and my brother Jesse and my daddy and my first cousins, the boys, and my Uncle Don. I had two Uncle Dons. I had Uncle Don and we had Big Don. They would take the gill net and stretch it straight out into the water, just straight out in the water, 100 feet, and they would just anchor it, I guess is what they done. They would leave it out, maybe a few hours or something. And they had a little skiff, a little boat they could go out in, and check the net or help pull it out, or really, I think they just walked it out, really. But then after a few hours, some of the guys would all go out and they would get that 100 feet net, and they would start pulling it in. They would go out to the very end where it was at and get a hold of the end, and they would start looping around like a horseshoe, and they would pull it up to the shore. And they just pull the whole net up to the shore, stretched out 100 feet on the shore once they got it on the shore. And that's how we caught our seafood. There would be, fish in there, shrimp, crab, and that's the way we caught our seafood. And in fact, I actually done that just a couple of days ago. I don't have a gill net because they're outlawed, but I have a seine net. And Carla and I took the seine net out, and we caught some really big crab in that seine net. And so I cleaned those crab, and I've got them in my freezer. I wanted to use them in this gumbo today, but I just don't have time to get them out and try to cook them and then pick the crab meat out. But one day I'll show y'all how to clean crab, and I'll show you how to cook them and pick the crab meat out. But what I was going to tell you about this gill net is that they had it stretched out one time, and they actually went out in the little skiff and they were checking the net. They weren't taking it in, they were just checking it to see what was in it. And they had caught a hammerhead shark in that net, about 10 feet long. And so they did that twice. They caught 2 hammerhead sharks in that net. So, we were out there swimming and wading, and sharks are out there. So, and in fact, the other day, Carla and I were out in the water, and we weren't even waist deep, and we looked out over the water, and both of us at the same time saw it. It was a fin in the water. It was a shark, and he was coming straight for us. And I'm telling you, we both was just like, whoa, when we realized what was going on, and we started, running towards the shore as fast as we could to get away from that shark. And thank the Lord we got away from him. I'm so thankful. But that's made me think, boy, I'm going to be a whole lot more careful. I don't know how deep I'm going to be going out in that water now. And we weren't deep anyway. It was below our waist. But they can come on up in just a few feet of water and get you. Okay, so that's my family stories. That's my seafood stories. That's my shark tales. Okay, so let's see if stuff's a boiling here. Yep. We got her going on. Oh, let me turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. Hang on. My tripod's trying to mess up on me here. Let me get it straightened back out. Okay, let me turn this around where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's the roux in this pot. That's my gravy. See the gravy? Okay, and I've watered it down, so it's not real thick now. It's basically kind of like water. There we go. Got it watered down. Now let me add, I need to add some tomato sauce. So let me open up some tomato sauce and add that. I'm working on this can. Trying to get it opened up, y'all. Okay, maybe I can get the sauce out of that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's my tomato sauce. I'm adding it. And I may have to add a little bit more of the powdered roux. Just have to see how it's going here. This is kind of something that you just kind of work with until you get it like you want it. Okay. Got a little more tomato sauce. Okay, that's that whole can of tomato sauce. Now, I think I'm going to add a little more roux because I want this to thicken up a little more. So I'm just going to shake some out of the can into it. Okay, we'll see how that turns out. All right. Stuff here. Okay, this has pretty much cooked down like it needs to be. Can you see that? Like I said, it just looks disgusting, really. But that needs to go in there. So let me turn off this burner back here. There we go. Got it off. Whoa! That burner popped. Okay, while I'm waiting on that roux to kind of cook a little more, I've got a chicken breast. Got a chicken breast that I cooked the other day. Still a little frozen. Oh good, there's actually a little bit of chicken broth in here. That's great. I'll put that into the gumbo as well. So I've got this chicken breast, and I'm going to cut this up, and it'll be it will go into the gumbo along with shrimp. So we'll go ahead and just start cutting this up. can put a variety of things in gumbo. The shrimp, crab meat, chicken. Some people put sausage. Some people even put oysters in their gumbo. Now I don't do oysters at all. I don't care for oysters, so I don't do oysters. But today we're going to have chicken and shrimp. I like to be able to catch my own shrimp for my gumbo because it's just, well, more than one reason. One reason is it's a lot of fun, and the other reason is it's much cheaper to catch your shrimp than to have to buy it. The shrimp I bought today, I bought 4 12-ounce, no, let's see, 4, maybe 5. I think I bought 5 12-ounce packages of shrimp, and it cost me $50. So it's really, it costs a lot of money to actually buy your shrimp. And if you're going to buy shrimp, though, let me tell you something that I found out the hard way, and I'll save you some trouble, and you won't waste money. And that is, if you're going to buy shrimp, do not buy foreign shrimp. Or buy shrimp from Thailand or anything like that. You need to look at the package and make sure that it is wild caught in the USA. I'll get a package out for you here in just a minute. I'll let you I'll show you what I buy. And this is a good shrimp that you can buy that has good flavor, and it tastes delicious, it tastes good. But if you buy foreign shrimp, it's cheaper, but it is flavorless. Foreign shrimp just does not have flavor. It's pitiful. Okay, let me get through cutting this up, and I'll get a package of the shrimp, and I'll show it to you, what you need to buy. And, you know, down here in the South in Walmart, this is available in the freezer section. Now, when you get up around Indiana and Ohio and Oklahoma, I'm not really sure if Walmart has, you know, these frozen shrimp or not. I'm not sure. So you just have to check and see, you know, for yourself if you're wanting to buy some shrimp. Okay, I'm almost through here with this. My roux is beginning to try to boil. So we're moving right along here. That's good. Okay, so I've got this chicken cut up. I'm going to put this over here on the table and get it out of the way. Wash my hands off, and let me get you a package of this shrimp. Show you what kind of shrimp I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Just doing my stuff here to make sure everything's okay. Okay, yeah, looking good. It's okay. All right, we're going to see if that'll thicken up some. Okay, now this is the shrimp that I buy, and I know it's probably, it may be reading backwards to y'all. Wild Gulf shrimp, raw. This is the large size. They have a medium, they have a small. You want it to be, let's see if I can find it on here. Okay, right here, down at the bottom, that says peeled and deveined. That's what you want, peeled and deveined. And up here it says caught in the USA. You need to make sure that it is caught in the USA. Okay, and that'll be good shrimp. All right, let's see what we got going on. Okay, this is thickening up some. Not a whole lot. Might Might have to add some more. Okay, let me add a little more of this dry roux to it. I'll try to get this stuff to thicken up a little bit more than what it is. Just give it a few minutes. See if it'll thicken up. Some of this has decided to lump up. Have to try to get some of the little lumps out of it here. It must be easier to lump up if you put it in hot water. Cold water. Didn't have any problem with it lumping when I just put it in the cold water. Okay, we're starting to thicken up a little bit more here. That's good. Okay. Still got some lumps. Come on, y'all. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and put this little pot or this stuff into the big pot. There we go. Okay, got all of that in there. Now, I need to, my frozen okra and seasoning blend, I want to pour that in there as well. Okay, that's got that. That's good. Got that done. Now, we stir this up a little bit. Let's let this cook down a tad. This frozen okra and seasoning blend is going to need to dissolve, unfreeze, and cook. Okay, so I'm going to let that cook just a little bit, just like that. Now, let me look and see what else I'm going to need to put in there. Okay, so I have left to add crab oil. This looks like the last thing that I need to add to this liquid here before I start putting in shrimp and chicken. So I'm going to go over to the sink and get my shrimp ready. Let me see if I can turn this camera around so you can see me at the sink. Okay, here's the sink. Okay, good. Here we go. Turn it on around a little bit more. Having to work with my tripod, try to get it turned around. Okay, here we go. We're at the sink. Now I'm going to have to get these shrimp out of the packages, just kind of rinse them off a little bit and have them ready to go over in the pot. So let me pour this water out here, and I'll put my shrimp in this little bowl here. need something to open this up with. Is this? Okay. Get my knife. I'll start opening these packages up. Let's see how it's looking. Okay, so I'm going to put them in this bowl. They're still frozen. We'll run a little water over them because they have ice on them, and if I just put them in the gumbo with that ice froze on them, that's going to put a lot of extra liquid into my gumbo, and I don't want just a whole lot of extra liquid in my gumbo. We'll water it down and it won't be thick enough. So get these out. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get them all fit in this bowl or not. Got one more package, but it ain't gonna fit in this bowl. Okay, let's put some water on this. Try to get some of the ice melted off of it. I'm going to let that sit there just for a minute. I'm going to see if I can put that last package in there. Okay, we're just barely getting it in there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go look at my roux. I'll turn this camera back around. Let's see how this is doing. Okay, let's turn the camera back around. There we go. Okay. Okay, ouch. This is what it looks like right now. We've got a good thick roux with our vegetables in it. See, the vegetables look a whole lot nicer now that we've got them cooking in the roux. Okay, so this is looking great. We're going to, I'm just going to let this simmer just a minute, and I need to get some rice going. We're going to eat this gumbo over rice. So, I need to get some rice going. Let's see, I have a pot for my rice. Let me find my rice. Here it is. Let me turn this back around where you can see me at the sink. Okay, here we are at the sink. Here's my rice. And Got a pot here for my rice down here. Here we go. Here's my pot for my rice. Okay, so I'm going to cook 1 cup of dry rice. So that means that I need to put in my pot 2 cups of water. That's the measurement you need. Okay. I'll have to use my little cup here for my measurement because, like I said, I've got to bring any measuring cup. So 1, 2. All right. I'm going to put this on the stove. Put these dirty dishes in the sink. Get my rice over here. And let me turn my camera back around so you can see what I'm doing here. See, I don't have someone to video this for me today, so I'm just having to work with the camera myself today. Okay, so let me turn this around where you can see there's my pot for my rice. So we're going to put it back here. We need to put just a little dab of salt, not much, just lightly salted. This piece of paper or something, okay. All right, we got a little dab of salt in there. Let's turn this burner on. Okay, let's see if we can get it to light. There we go. Got it on high. And when this water comes to a boil, we'll be ready to put the rice in. Okay, we are moving right along on this gumbo. Hooray. Now, I think I'll go ahead and add my crab boil. I need approximately, I'm gonna turn my fire down too on this big pot. I don't need it to cook so high and so fast now. Okay, now let me put a little crab boil in there. There's my little spoon at. Here it is. Here's my little spoon. Oh, it's not wet. It's not dry anymore. I must have stirred something with it. Okay, we get another spoon. Okay. So we need to put a little dab of crab oil in here. I'll put about this, maybe not quite that much. Here to see. I'll put about this much in it, maybe get it over here where you can see it. That's probably about a teaspoon. Maybe I'll add just a little bit more. I'll add just a tad more. Okay, that should be all of our seasonings now that we need for our gumbo. So we need to put our meat in here in just a minute. Now, this bag that had my piece of chicken in it, I told you it had like some broth and stuff in it. Put a little water in that, seal it up, shake it around, and pour it into my gumbo. Because this is going to be flavor. This is extra flavor that I'll get to add to my gumbo. Okay, let me add this. There we go. Got that in there. Okay. See how that works. It still looks wonderfully delicious. This is really some good looking stuff. I'm thinking I'm going to add a little bit more of this roux to it because I need my liquid to be a little thicker than I want it to be in the end when it's done. So I'm going to add a little more roux to this, thicken it up just a little bit more, because when I add those shrimp, the water's going to come out of that shrimp and it's going to dilute this gumbo down. So I want it to be a little thicker right now than what I really want the end result to be. So let me just add a little bit more roux. Stir it in. Let this simmer a little longer. Okay. Now while I'm waiting on that, let me open up my rice. A rice bag opened up. I'll go ahead and pour me up a cup of rice right here. Okay, so I've got my cup of rice ready to go in my water as soon as it starts boiling. Okay, here we go. This is thickening up. Let's see what it's looking like now. Okay, good. This is good. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to have to drain the water off my shrimp. And I'm going to add them in there. So let me turn around here. Let's drain the water off of the shrimp as best we can. If you have a colander, it's much easier to do this in a colander. I just don't have a colander here at the RV. Got a little water coming off of it. You let it set just for a second. Okay, let's see if we need more water off of it. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, I think we're pretty good. And take the shrimp over here to the stove. Let's turn this back around. And you can see what's going on. Okay, this is really boiling here. It's hot too. Let me get a pot holder. Okay, we're going to put these shrimp in here now. This is 5 12-ounce packages of frozen shrimp into the gumbo. Whoa, man alive. Okay, let me see what we got going on here. All right, we're going to let the shrimp cook a little bit. It'll take them, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes maybe to cook. And once they're done, I'm going to add the chopped chicken at the very last, because I don't want to stir my chicken all up in here and boil it and stuff, and it just starts stringing and going to pieces. I want it to hopefully kind of stay in chunks somewhat. Found a little piece of roux there that I needed to break up. we're going to have something showing up good here in a little bit. Okay, I probably need to turn the fire back up so this can cook. There we go. Got my fire up. Okay, the water's boiling over here. Let me put the rice in here. Come on out. Okay, there's my rice. Not going to be just a whole lot longer before this stuff will be done. The lid on the rice. Turn my heat down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook just a little bit, and I'll come back and show you when I put the chicken in, when the rice is done, and you'll get to see the finished product. Okay, so we've got the gumbo ready, and I'm going to turn around here and show it to you. I've already put the chicken in it. I forgot to turn the video back on before I put the chicken. So the chopped chicken is in the gumbo, and it's ready to go. Turn it around here. There's my pot of gumbo. Back over here we got some white rice. And I have got some Mexican cornbread right here. So, I'm going to dip some up. I'm going to show you how we dip up gumbo, okay? Get a bowl, put some rice in it. And then you put the gumbo over the top of it. So that's shrimp and chicken right there. Want to get a little bit of broth in here. Okay, that is what a bowl of gumbo looks like, right there. All right, and we want to put a slice of this cornbread. Let me get around here and get a couple of saucers. Okay, I got my saucers. Let me cut this cornbread. This is my iron skillet. I got this iron skillet when I got married. Sister Vadine Entrigan gave me this iron skillet. It's been many moons ago. I'm having a tough time getting this cornbread cut. Okay. Now. And I've got some people sitting at the table waiting on me to give them some food. So I'm fixing to serve them up some food here. All right, there we go. Okay, so here's a piece of Mexican cornbread. Look at that. Woohoo! Okay. There. more bowl of gumbo for my brother. And we're fixing to get serious about this eating.
Amen.
Oh, that amen corner over there. Did y'all hear that? Now, the reason I cooked this today is because my brother, Mark, he's my baby brother. You might better tell this, maybe let me turn the camera around on him before I tell it. Okay, this is Mark's bowl of gumbo. A piece of cornbread. A piece or two, maybe. Do you like corners or middle pieces?
Probably middle piece.
Middle piece, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got their food dipped up for them. Now, let's see. We're going to turn this around if I can figure out how to do it. Here we go. Okay, that's Mark and Ellen. That's my baby brother and his wife. And they've come over to Dauphin Island, spent the day with me. And I made this gumbo for Mark because he requested gumbo. So he said he had been craving some gumbo. So of course Big Sister's going to do what her baby brother wants. All right, y'all. I'm glad that y'all came along with me and just was here in the kitchen while I was making the gumbo. And if you'll follow the directions in the description box and the ingredients, even if you're not from the South and even if you don't live on the coast, you can make some delicious gumbo. All right, y'all be good and we'll see you next time.